So we're going to move off on to our next topic now, which is another thing Max, formerly HBO Max, announced or showed anyway. So the Penguin. Now, I can't show any footage because the video that I did yesterday, they did copyright claim. So can't show you any footage, but have we all seen this? Have we all seen the trailer?
Yes, I watched it right before the show. I didn't even know that this was even out till I jumped in here and you guys told me about it.
Yeah, so this is it's a sequel to the Batman. It takes up, pretty much soon after the film, couple of weeks, if not pretty much immediately. It's all about the power vacuum and Penguin looking to take control of Gotham City as a mob boss, the kingpin of Gotham City, as he says, I think, towards the end of the trailer. Andre, have you seen this trailer or not?
I have seen it, yeah.
So what do we all think of it? Culture, what do you think of this trailer?
I think it looks great, to be fair. I watching it, I think it's incredibly cinematic. And again, I'm just amazed at Farrell's performance. I just can't. The makeup effects are sound. I mean, just it doesn't look bad at all. The portrayal. I mean, this is. I think we mentioned it backstage, but this is very Godfather-esque. It is very, very. It's going to be gritty as anything, and I think that's something that's been missing for a while, since possibly Boardwalk Empire or something like that. But I'm pretty stoked to see this, to be fair. So
yeah, Nick, what did you think?
I thought the trailer looked killer. I'm definitely going to be watching this show. I really liked the Batman more than I thought I would. I had some issues with the third act, but overall, I liked the movie. I liked the way the style and the way the movie was shot appealed to me. And this trailer right here looks like it's just going to be a fun mob gangster movie, with the Penguin. But they're making it modern. It's not going to be, over comic booky, or too silly. He's not running around going, Batman, I'm gonna get you, in a weird voice or anything. This feels very down to earth, very serious tones. I like it. I can't wait till it comes out and I can check it out.
Cool, good. And Andre, what did you think of the trailer?
No, I think this in isolation looks really good. It absolutely does. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not a fan of the universe that it's part of, but this in isolation looks good.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me also say that Andre and I agree on the film. It was terrible.
I hate that film so far.
Well, me and Nick agree because I really like the film. So they care. Yeah. I really like the film. The cinematography of all of this.
Yeah.
This
looks all like this is great. I've not one complaint about this trailer in isolation. This in isolation is fantastic. The universe it's part of that left a really sour taste in my mouth.
I love it. Honestly, I love it. I think I'm all for this. I think the trailer's great. The production values are all there. It looks just like a series version of the Batman.
Yeah. Is the Batman going to be in this?
We've heard rumors that he can. Well, we've had confirmation that he can be in it, not that he will be in it, because there was some rumors floating around on Twitter that James Gunn debunked because people were like, "Oh yeah, I know from my sources that Robert Pattinson cannot be in it due to a rights deal," and James was like, "That's not true." So he can be in it, and he might be in it. It would make sense if he is. I love the brutality. Look at that prosthetic. You just wouldn't know that was Colin Farrell. You just wouldn't look at it.
No way.
Yeah, no.
It's just insane.
His voice, his accent, everything he does in this performance is amazing.
He's actually doing it better here than what Tom Cruise did in Tropic Thunder, with the studio head character that Tom Cruise played in Tropic Thunder. You could tell that was Rex Grossman. You could tell that was Tom Cruise with the voice and the way that they kind of put the fat suit and stuff. You could still kind of tell. There's no way I could tell that this is Colin Farrell at all. The voice, the look, everything.
and it didn't win like best prosthetics or anything like that for Oscars. I mean, this is truly amazing work. The makeup effects are absolutely staggeringly great. But I love the brutality. I love, at the start of the trailer, he's like, guys like us, it's just, it's the very sort of hard hitting adult, but not dark and gritty for dark and gritty's sake with a comic, a comic book undertone. This is a comic book universe in a dark and gritty retelling. Does that make sense? I'm trying to differentiate it. So, like, I would say Zack Snyder's universe was a comic book dark and gritty universe. This is a dark and gritty universe, just taking comic book elements and
yeah.
Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to differentiate. I'm not wording it completely. I'm on a heavy diet, guys. Or I'm pretty fucked. So, like,
it's the reverse of what it normally is.
Exactly. There's no comic book elements in it aside from the characters and kind of what they do, I guess. There's no cartoonish elements. There you go. That's the sort of better the better explanation. I love it. I think this looks great. And I love just how brutal he is. He just gets the gun out, bang, 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 and just starts chuckling to himself at the end. You're like, fucking hell. Like, this guy is someone not to mess with. And this is the problem, isn't it? It's like the character of Penguin is actually a bit of a badass. Like, if you've played the games, you've read the comics, he is a badass, but he's always played up as a bit of a joke in the movies. So it's nice to see him actually be a badass, actually see how he rose to power. So I'm all for this. I'm all for this. And again, they're like the Penguin in production teaser. It's like that was just to try.
I can't even believe it also shows me how far along they are in production.
Well, they've been releasing. There was some leaked images I did some videos of. He's wearing like a purple suit. He's got his Maserati still. Maseratis are not great cars. They have Ferrari engines, but bad electrical fires.
That reminds me of something called a Jaguar, who has similar issues.
Yeah.
Or wiring harnesses. Yeah.
Range Rovers are another one that gets voted.
Well, you know why?
Unreliable SUV on the market.
It is the most unreliable.
They are. Well, you know why? They were owned by Mercedes for a while. And Mercedes at one point put a biodegradable electrical harness in their cars.
Oh my God!
Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah, in a place that has huge amounts of moisture all the time, that's really freaking stupid.
No, they did it as a serviceable item. So, like, it degraded, so you would replace it. Anyway, I don't want to get too into that. It's super dumb. Super dumb. But I love this. I think the Penguin trailer looks great. I'm all for this. And you know what? I do think, I think this is the way to go. This universe, I think on the small screen works really, really well. I think we'll have. I mean, I like the Batman. I like it a lot, but the money didn't bear it out. They obviously wanted a bit more for it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forwards with that. With the sequel, and also what they do with the Arkham Asylum spin-off that was going to be the Gotham PD, but turned into this sort of Arkham Asylum series, because that's another one. And I tell you what, if it's got the same tone and vibe as this, I'm all in it. I think this would be great. Very exciting stuff. These are the kind of these are the shows. This, House of the Dragon, not Game of Thrones anymore, but House of the Dragon. What used to be like Boardwalk Empire, all this kind of stuff. They're real. This is the reason why you subscribe to a high-tiered streaming platform. The
Continental, which is coming out.
I was going to do a video on that, but can't because Peacock they love to claim as well. So
yeah, they do.
Unfortunate.
I see potential problems here, and maybe I don't know if Andre agrees on this, and maybe the rest of you. But you're establishing two different DC universes with this show, because this is wildly.
Now potentially 3 or 4, because this is just the
Elseworlds right there.
But you've got more on top of it because you've got the Joker Elseworlds, you've got the other Elseworlds, so on and so forth. So
the discussion was that the Joker Elseworld could fit into this version of this Elseworld, possibly, but I don't know. I think that
confirmation. In fact, the only confirmation we had was that they wouldn't be doing it, and they would absolutely keep it separate.
Okay, let me phrase it a different way. There's no guarantee that this second film is going to be received well. In fact, my guess is it probably won't be. But I think, and again, Andre, I'm very curious. Do you think that this causes massive issues at HBO? Because if this is really popular, and yet the Batman as a film wasn't. And now, I mean,
well,
what are
so
you gonna do?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that Batman as a film wasn't popular, right? It just didn't generate. I mean, it did like 750, $800 million worldwide. So
Yeah, that's
it was popular,
Mm,
but it wasn't the money that they wanted. And we
right.
know that these companies want $1 billion
Yeah.
for each film.
Yeah.
So it was popular. It was popular, but it wasn't what they expected. And so,
it was the
we got to
worst.
differentiate that.
It was the worst kind of result they possibly could have gotten. Because when you just look at it as a data point, they couldn't have gotten a worse data point. Because it's a data point that shows that, yeah, you can kind of like reboot Batman and it might work, but then again, it might not. And yeah, the audience may be receptive to a different direction, but then again, they're not too receptive to this one. It's a data point that gives no clear answers. And I do see Culture's point here, because now you're kind of like, you have like one universe that they're kind of discarding after The Flash, and then James Gunn will be starting his own separate universe. But the Matt Reeves thing is his own separate thing from that. So they're still going to have at least two separate ongoing cinematic universes, plus whatever else world stuff they have with the Joker Part 2, with Constantine Part 2, and whatever else they do. So they're going to have multiple things going. And the Elseworlds thing, that's kind of fine. People can get that. But then you have two ongoing competing DC universes. And that was never the intention. What they were considering at a point there was like, okay, if this Matt Reeves Batverse really works out, if this crosses $1 billion, we're just going to drop all this Snyderverse stuff here, and this is going to be the new main thing. But it didn't. Instead, they're carrying on with both. That's brand confusion right there. That's my issue. This is kind of like why I'm saying I like how the Penguin looks, don't like the universe that it's part of. This goes right back to the problem that Warner seems to be having. Cue the earlier discussion with like the brand name, where they have like a brand that's really good and they're discarding it for something that has to be built up from scratch. Same thing here. I mean, here you're in a position where you have like two potential DC brands, both of which can be really good on their own. But if they coexist, they're going to cannibalize off each other, confuse the audience, and both will prevent the other from being all it can be.
Yeah.
That's
It'll be
my
interesting
issue with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of that was because of James Gunn sort of coming in as well. So he sort of, they sort of got him to take over the reins. They obviously sort of changed direction as well to a certain degree.
Yeah, but Matt Reeves had already gotten the green light there from the previous administration that were a bunch of numbnuts.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. So they obviously, it's all just fractured, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it's all
just
fractured.
completely fractured.
And the Matt Reeves verse here is just continuing the fracturing.
Yeah, well, I can hear myself coming through someone just as an FYI.
I'm sorry.
But point is, I don't care. I'm still excited for it. So moving on.
Oh, I'm excited.
Nick, I'm sure Nick, you'll back me up. You're excited for a sequel.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it.